OCSA Radio Theater and Art's Cool Acting Body Wash present You Can't Take It With You with an all-star cast. Ladies and gentlemen, your host, Noah Granados.
Greetings from Hollywood, ladies and gentlemen. This is a special occasion for us, and it's all made possible by the exceptional quality of Art's Cool Acting Body Wash. Ms. Gabal has a letter on the subject that I think you'd like to hear.
Dear Mr. Granados, we are all loyal to you, to the OCSA Radio Theater, and to Art's Cool Acting Body Wash. I, for one, purchased Art's Cool Acting Body Wash at first as a thank you to the OCSA Radio Theater. The quality of the product is so outstanding that I am now writing to tell you that I wouldn't think of doing without my Art's Cool Acting Body Wash. It's a grand help for a woman who wants to keep her complexion as attractive as possible, and it certainly makes for a grand bath soap. And a special thanks to you, Mr. Granados, for You Can't Take It With You. I'll be listening in.
And that, Ms. Gabal, brings us to our play. Americans have always been blessed with a gift for humor. Prophets of gloom have never fared well in our country. They've always been overshadowed by prophets of laughter, like Moss Hart and George S. Kaufman, who wrote, You Can't Take It With You, a Pulitzer Prize play on the Broadway stage, and later, a hit motion picture. You Can't Take It With You is a great American comedy, but it's also a love story, for there can be humor and romance, even though the parties concerned are usually far too serious to see it. Firecrackers, ballet dancers, romance, and income taxes are about to descend upon us. It's curtain time for Act 1 of You Can't Take It With You. The 57th floor of the Kirby Building, tallest and most impressive structure of a great American city. On a door opposite the elevator is a brass plate bearing the legend Anthony P. Kirby Company, Bankers. And behind 7 of the doors marked private is the inner sanctum of the great Kirby himself. The famous tycoon cannot be disturbed just now. With his son Tony and a small group of associates, he's engaged in the ceremonial dance of modern business. A very important conference.
Gentlemen, we're going ahead exactly as planned. Our company will be the largest individual corporation in the world, particularly with Ramsey lined up.
Why? We control the whole field of production.
Exactly, gentlemen.
But AP, Ramsey would never permit himself to be absorbed by anybody.
Oh, won't he? Earlier this year, Ramsey floated a new issue, didn't he? What for? For expansion. New product facilities. All right. Where's he going to build these new product facilities? I own every 12 square blocks completely surrounding his factories.
You own them.
We didn't know anything about that, AP.
Of course you didn't. Nobody knew. The Blakely Real Estate Company has been buying it for me a piece at a time, but my name was kept out of it.
That's brilliant, AP.
So you see, gentlemen, we can proceed without any trouble. Well, you know what to do. Come on, get busy. Oh, Sherry, get me Mr. Blakely on the phone.
Yes, sir.
Well, Tony, how does it feel to be vice president?
Well, it's been painless enough so far, Dad.
You talk as if you were having a tooth yanked.
Look, Dad, maybe sometime when you got a week or two off, you could just sort of let me in on what the banking business is all about, huh?
Oh, now, don't give up. Tony, sure, it's complicated, but you'll get used to it. How's your mother been?
Oh, she's fine. Said she'd drop in later.
Mr. Blakely's on the phone, sir.
Hello? Blakely.
Hello, AP.
How's it going, Blakely? You got that property yet?
Well, I'm having a little trouble, AP. I've got all 12 blocks except one house. 25-foot front, and the man won't sell.
Well, make him sell.
Well, I'm trying, AP, but the old man's a crank. I offered him $50,000 yesterday, and he turned it down.
You listen to me. I don't want any excuse, as I want this house.
That man's got ice water in his veins, I tell you, John. We've got to get that house.
You can't force a man to sell his home.
Oh, what'd he say when you offered him the $50,000?
I'm not sure, but I think someone began singing, someone else danced, and Grandpa Vanderhoff himself sat down and played a mouth organ.
A mouth organ? What are they, a bunch of nuts?
Mr. Vanderhoff is here, Mr. Blakely.
Oh, Mr. Vanderhoff. Well, send him right in. No, have him wait.
Yes, sir.
Let him cool his heels a while.
Psychology, eh?
It never fails.
Mr. Vanderhoff, Mr. Blakely will see you in just a minute.
Huh? Oh, that's all right. I'm not in any hurry.
Thank you, Mr. Vanderhoff.
Say, mister, what are you doing with that there machine?
Huh? Oh, why, this is an adding machine. Oh my goodness, made a mistake. First time in 20 years.
What do you have to do that for?
Well, I have to add up these figures and see if they check against these other figures.
Why? Say, do you like it, this work you're doing?
Oh my goodness, no. Oh, for land's sake, what am I saying?
Then what do you do it for? What would you rather do?
Rather do? Why, I make up things.
Poetry?
Oh, no. Things, gadgets.
Let's see. You got anything there?
Back here, behind the desk. See? This is one of the things I made up. The bunny comes out of the cabbage. Looks around, then it goes back.
Now that's kind of cute. Seems to me, Mr.
Poppins.
Seems to me, Mr. Poppins, that's the sort of thing you ought to be doing all the time.
Well, yes. Maybe someday when my ship comes in.
A lot of people waiting for that ship, Mr. Poppins. Meanwhile, they don't have any fun. Look, how would you like to come over to our house for a while and work on your gadgets?
Over to your house?
Now, don't feel bashful about it. Mrs. DePinna, she's the Ice Man's second cousin, came over 9 years ago. Got interested in making fireworks down in the cellar with my son-in-law, Paul, and he's been living with us ever since. Over at our place, everybody does exactly what they want to do.
Really? That's wonderful, but how do you live? Who takes care of you?
The same one who takes care of the lilies of the field, Mr. Poppins. If you like, you can come over and be a lily too. Say, let's hear that bunny again, will you?
Well, all right.
It's a wonderful invention, Mr. Poppins.
Poppins! Poppins!
Oh goodness, it's Mr. Blakely.
What's this? What's going on here?
Well, you see, sir, this gentleman.
Mr. Poppins was showing me his invention, that's all.
Oh, Mr. Vanderhoff! Well, come in! Come right into my office.
No, thank you, Mr. Bakley. I was just going.
Going? What are you talking about?
Say, that's a bad twitch in your eye. You've been working too hard. You ought to take a vacation.
Mr. Vanderhoff, if it's all the same to you, let's quit playing games. I'm a very busy man.
Then I don't want to disturb you. Bye, Mr. Bakley.
Look, I have a check here for $100,000 made out to you.
You don't say. Look out for that twitch, Mr. Bakley. Coming, Poppins.
I'd like to, but I don't think...
You, Poppins, this is all your fault. You and your confounded toys. Get it out of here.
Oh, you broke it. You broke my... Wait a minute, Mr. Vanderhoff. I'll get my hat.
You leave here, Poppins. You needn't come back.
I don't intend to, Mr. Blakely. The die is cast. From now on, I'm a lily.
Oh, Grandpa, is that you?
Yup. Reba, you better set another place for dinner. Mr. Poppins here is gonna stay with us for a while.
Oh, isn't that nice? How do you do, Mr. Poppins?
How do you do?
Reba, will you taste a love drink for me? It's a new candy I'm working on with coconuts.
Like to, Miss Essie, but I just ate a scallion. It's gonna taste like scallions no matter what.
Guess I'll have to ask Mother then. Hello, Grandpa.
Oh, this is my granddaughter, Essie, Mr. Poppins. Makes the best candy in the city.
Hello.
Hello.
Just put your hat over there, Mr. Poppins. I'll show you where you can go wash up.
Mother! Mother, will you please taste a love dream for me?
I don't think I can now, Essie. I'm busy with my play. Do you have to make candy today? It's so hot.
Well, Ed went out and got a bunch of new orders.
You know, if it keeps on, you'll be opening a store, dear.
That's what Ed was saying last night, but I said no. I want to be a dancer.
Miss Essie, that new batch of love dreams is almost ready.
Oh gosh, I'd better get back to the kitchen.
Finish that second act yet, Mrs. Sycamore?
Oh, no, Reba. I've got Cynthia entering a monastery.
Monastery? She was singing in the Paradise Club last I heard.
Yes, well, she gets tired of the Paradise Club, and there's this monastery, so she goes there.
My, I bet she busts it wide open.
Wait a minute, Mrs. DePina, I want to show my wife.
Oh, what are you doing down in that cellar?
Look, Penny, the new firecrackers. Mrs. DePina and I just got through with them. You can sell them for 10 cents a string. And they pop like the dickens, watch. Pretty nice, huh?
Wow, yes, dear, they're lovely.
Oh, Mr. Sycamore.
Yes, Mrs. DePina?
On this skyrocket, I think we got the powder chamber too close to the balloon.
Bring it up here. Let me see.
Mother, Ed's coming home. Ed's coming home. I saw him through the window.
Hey, Essie.
Here I am, Ed.
Well, I delivered the candy. How's my beautiful wife?
Oh, just fine, dear.
I couldn't wait to get home and get at the xylophone. Say, wait till you hear this tune. It's been ringing in my ears all day. Listen.
Oh, I like that, Ed. Is that yours?
No, it's Chopin.
Got a lot of you in it. It makes me feel like practicing my dancing.
Come on, Mr. Hoppins. Come on in and meet the rest of the family. Folks, this is Mr. Poppins. You know Essie. The fellow playing the xylophone is Ed. He's her husband. This is my son-in-law, Pa Sycamore.
Hello, Mr. Poppins.
How do you do?
And Mrs. DePinna. She's the Iceman's second cousin.
Very pleased to know you.
How do you do?
And over here is my daughter, Penny.
How do you do?
Hello. Were you ever in a monastery, Mr. Poppins?
No, I never have been.
What's the matter, Penny? Stuck?
See, well, I've got her in a monastery, and I just can't get her out.
Say, where's Alice? Isn't she coming home for dinner?
She didn't say. I thought she ought to stop working in that millinery shop. They make her stay so late.
Why, Penny, she hasn't worked there for 5 months.
Really?
She works for some bankers now. Kirby and Son. She works for the Sun.
Bankers now. Isn't that nice? Reba! Reba!
Yes, Mrs. Sycamore?
Reba, dear, will you please call up Alice at her office and ask her if she's coming home to dinner?
That's at Kirby and Son, Reba.
I know.
Yes, she works for the Sun. Now, where was I in my play?
Tony. Tony, dear?
Yes, Alice.
Tony, stop me if I'm wrong, but isn't that the telephone ringing?
I thought I heard something. Voices in my ear. Voices that say, if you don't kiss Alice Sycamore right now, you're a chump.
Tony, please. This is a business office. Hello? Mr. Anthony Kirby Jr.'s office? Oh, hello, Rebo. Wait. Mother wants to know if I'll be home for dinner.
Oh, definitely not.
The man says no, Reba.
Darling, darling.
Tony, stop that. Reba, tell Grandpa I love him as much as ever, but a young vice president has me in his power. Tony, don't.
Well, I was only kissing you on the back of the neck.
Yes, Reba, of course. I'm struggling. Tony, don't.
Tony, good evening.
Oh.
Mother. Oh, hello, Mother. Why don't you sort of sit down or something?
No. I see you're busy. If you don't mind, I think I'll go and see your father. Excuse me, dear.
Goodbye, Reba. I've got to hang up now. The ceiling just fell in. Tony, would you mind handing me the want ad section of that paper?
Oh, I'm sorry, Alice. I had no idea my mother was going to pop in like that.
No, I guess you didn't. Well, I'd better go home.
Now, wait a minute. I want to tell you something. Last night I informed that irate lady that was just in here that I was going to marry you.
Tony, I don't remember your telling it to me.
Well, you didn't ask me.
Did you see the way she looked at me? I know just what she was thinking.
Oh, listen. There seems to be a general impression around here that the Kirbys are ogres or something. Well, that has nothing to do with me. They're just putty in my hand. Never wanted a thing I couldn't get if I yelled long enough. Worked like a charm when I was a baby. And there's one little detail I forgot to mention. I love you, Alice. I love you very much.
Oh, Tony. Tony.
Here you are. Do you like it, Mr. Sycamore?
Why, I think it's marvelous. Did you make that in just the 2 days you've been here?
I had the parts, but this is a wonderful place to work.
Say, Mr. Sycamore,
Yeah?
this new fireworks display is going to be the best we've ever made.
I guess it is, Mrs. DePinna.
Did you think a name up for it yet?
No, what we need is something new, big, and with plenty of flash. You any ideas, Mr. Poppins?
Let me see. I know. The Russian Revolution. Plenty of fireworks there.
Why, that's brilliant, Mr. Poppins. What do you think of it, Ed? The Russian Revolution.
I think it's swell. Say, you got swell ideas, Mr. Poppins. Say, maybe you've got something you'd like me to set up on my printing press.
Why don't you print something about the fireworks? Advertising them. then putting it in the candy boxes, and the people who buy the candy will also buy the fireworks.
Say, that's great! Listen though, how does this sound? Watch for the revolution. It's coming soon.
Fine.
We got a lot of these red flag firecrackers left. You could write about them too.
Sure, red flags will sweep the country. Get your red flags from Sycamore.
Well, that's fine. Fine.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello. Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye.
Don't ring that dinner bell just yet, Miss Alice. It's not even half ready.
Gather round, everybody. It's the town crier herself, and I've got an announcement to make.
Alice, dear, what's the matter?
Oh, it's wonderful, Mother. Listen. A young gentleman is going to call on me in exactly 20 minutes.
Who? Alice, what's his name?
Mr. Anthony Kirby Jr.
Kirby? Why, that's the boss's son.
Oh, yes, Kirby and Son.
Here, what's all the excitement?
Grandpa, I've had a proposal from Tony Kirby, and he's coming to call tonight.
A proposal? Well, why didn't you say?
And Mother, please, I want him to take us in easy doses, so please don't read him any plays on his first visit, because I like him. and Essie, I would dance for him if I were you, because we're going to the Monte Carlo Ballet later. Well, now I've got to dress. Bye. Come in.
Hello.
Hello, Grandpa. Sit down.
Thanks. Well, Alice, do you love him?
Love him? Oh, I
Can't even talk about him,
not rationally.
Who's asking you to be rational? Listen, when I courted your grandmother, it took me 2 years to propose. Know why? The moment she'd walk into the room, my knees buckle, and the blood would rush to my head, and the walls would start dancing. Up to the last, I couldn't even look at her without my heart didn't go thump, thump, thump. That's why I've lived in this house so many years and never could move out. It'd be like moving away from Grandma.
Oh, Grandpa, I've got it that way too.
If you have, then I guess it's all right.
Look, I bought you something. Here, do you like it?
Well, bless my soul. A new harmonica. Sure is a beauty too. I guess I'll run along downstairs and give a try.
There's the bell. He's here now. Tell him I'll be right there, Grandpa.
It's wonderful, Ed.
And stop playing. I think I heard the bell. Oh, hello. I'm Alice's mother. Come right in.
I'm afraid there's been a mistake. My name is Henderson.
Henderson? But I thought it was Kirby.
Wilbur G. Henderson, Internal Revenue Department. I'm looking for Martin Vanderhoff.
Right here. Come on in.
Thank you.
Sit down, sir.
Thanks, Mr. Vanderhoff. The government wants to talk to you about a little matter of income tax.
Income tax?
Now, Mr. Vanderhoff, we've written you several letters about this and no reply. And according to our records...
That's Mr. Kirby now. I'll answer it. Excuse me. Come right in, Mr. Kirby.
Thanks.
Hello, son. Glad to see you.
Thank you, sir.
Mother, is that Mr. Kirby?
Yes, dear. He's lovely.
Sit down, son. Sit down. Make yourself at home.
Oh, thank you very much.
Mr. Vanderhoff, I hope you'll excuse me. But I got to get going.
Oh, I'm sorry. Drop in again sometime for dinner.
If you don't mind, I'd like to get my business over with before I go.
Oh?
Mr. Vanderhoff, our records show that you have never paid an income tax.
That's right.
Why not?
I don't believe in it.
You don't believe in it?
No, sir.
Well, whether you believe in it or not, you owe the government 22 years back income taxes.
Yes? Now look, Mr. Henderson, suppose I pay you the money. Mind you, I don't say I'm going to, but just for the sake of the argument, what do I get for my money?
Get? Why, you get everything.
What?
Well, everything. Look, at Congress and the House and the Senate, you've got to pay them. don't we?
Not with my money, no, sir.
Now listen!
Well, here I am. Hello, Tony.
Hello, Alice.
I hope you all got acquainted.
Oh, yes. Oh, I think you two will make such a lovely couple.
Mother.
Look, Mr. Vanderhoff, there's no two ways about it. You've got to pay your income taxes.
How's that? Well, they gotta show me.
They don't have to show you. I just told you. Look, who's going to pay for all those buildings down in Washington? And interstate commerce? And the Constitution?
The Constitution was paid for long ago. And interstate commerce... What is interstate commerce, anyway?
Oh, look. There are 48 states. See? And if it weren't for interstate commerce, nothing could get from one state to another. See?
Why not? Have they got fences?
No! They haven't got fences, they've got laws! Oh, holy smoke! I've never ran across anything like this before.
Well, I might pay you about $75, but that's all it's worth.
You'll pay every cent of it, like everybody else. And if you think you're bigger than the law, you've got another thing coming. Holy smokes! What is that? What is that? Let me out of this place! Let me out of here! Let me out of here!
See, Tony, my father makes fireworks in the cellar.
Oh, well, I hope you don't get in any trouble, Mr. Vanderhoff.
Not me. I don't own the government a cent.
Alice, dear, here's your wrap.
Thanks, Mother. All ready, Tony? We'll be late.
Hello, everybody.
Mr. Kolenkov.
Oh, Tony, you're just in time to meet Mr. Kolenkov. He's Essie's dancing teacher.
Ah, my little Alice, my little Aliska. Never have I seen you look so magnificent, like little puppy.
Mr. Kirby, Mr. Kolenkov.
How do you do?
I have slight pain in chest.
Oh, Mr. Kolenkov, I practiced today.
Ah, my Pavlova. Grandpa, I am in time for dinner, no?
Of course you are.
If you'll pardon us, Mr. Kolenkov, we're going out to the Monte Carlo Ballet.
Monte Carlo Ballet? It stinks.
Yes, well, goodbye, everybody.
Glad to have met you all.
Dinner's ready.
Come on, everybody.
To right in that corner.
Quiet, everybody. Quiet.
And did you notice his manners, Paul?
Quiet, Penny. Grandpa's gonna say grace.
Well, sir, we've been getting along pretty good for a while now, and we're certainly much obliged. Looks like Alice is gonna get married, and I think she'll be happy, 'cause we just met the boy you sent to her, and he looks fine. Remember, all we ask is to just go along the way we are and to keep our health. And as far as anything else is concerned, we leave it up to you. Thank you.
Oh my, we might not have
Yeah,
enough.
I don't know what kind of song. We have like 500 characters. I'm not really that care much.
The curtain falls on Act 1 of You Can't Take It With You, and the course of romance promises to be rather stormy in the Vanderhoff household. During a brief intermission, before we go on with the second act, here's a little jingle from our very own Modernettes Trio.
Here's what we've heard nearly everyone say. Women are different from men. Ladies, when bathing, are not half so gay. While men sing or whistle and then sing again. If they're Irish, the tune goes like this. Da 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 da. If they're Scotch, here is one they won't miss. Da 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 da. Maybe they'll whistle and you will hear. Da 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 da. For men are always full of good cheer.
Wonderful, ladies. And that reminds me, Art's Cool Acting Body Wash has a rich, active lather that works up fast and cleanses thoroughly and quickly, yet it's gentle and mild. It makes a bath a pleasure, and best of all, it leaves a woman or a man sure of fastidious grooming.
Wonderful. Thank you, ladies.
And now, here is Act 2 of You Can't Take It With You. It's later, the same evening. On every side of the city park, skyscrapers send up a million lights to challenge the stars. But Alice and Tony, who found a secluded bench beneath the trees, are not concerned with the miracles of man or nature. Just now, they have eyes only for each other.
What are you thinking, Tony?
Thinking how much better this is than going to the ballet.
Well, what are you really thinking? About my family? It's not a family you can just ignore.
No, it isn't. You know, I think they're great. They seem to do just what they want to do.
Yes. Grandpa started it 35 years ago. He suddenly quit business one day, started up the elevator, came right down again, and never went back. He said he wasn't having any fun.
Well, that's exactly what I mean.
And Mother. You know why Mother writes plays? Because 2 years ago, a typewriter was delivered to the house by mistake.
Well, now I know why you're so different. You know, I think that your family is the answer to what's wrong with the world. People spend their lives building castles in the air, and yet they never try to make them realities. But the Kirbys come from a long line of bankers, and the line simply must not be broken. Gosh, that's been pounded into my head until it's given me a softening of the brain.
Oh, that's silly, Tony. You're still young and there's plenty of time to decide about those things. Besides, I resent what you said about your brain. I think it's beautiful.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
Gee, that's wonderful. Now, tell me, when do we get married?
We don't.
Oh, darling, what'd you say?
I said we don't. Not for a while.
Well, why?
Because I've been thinking. We could save ourselves a lot of embarrassment later on if our two families could meet first.
Oh, so that's what's on your mind, huh?
Mm-hmm. I want you to bring your folks for dinner Wednesday, Tony.
Now, wait. I'm not going to put you on display like a freak in the circus.
I don't mind.
Well, I do.
Well, it's worth it if we get their approval. Oh, be sensible, Tony. They centered their whole lives around you, made all sorts of plans. Suddenly I come along and everything's upset. Tony, there's no two ways about it. Your family has to meet mine.
All right, Wednesday for dinner. It's a date.
Anthony, aren't you dressed yet?
No, I'm not.
Well, hurry, dear. Tony said 8 o'clock.
Look here, Miriam. Are you serious about taking me on this slumming tour?
The more we fight, Tony, the more he'll resist. It's the only thing to do.
Yes, but the dinner is so awful.
That's just it. She's probably from some dull middle-class family. Soon as Tony sees us all together, he'll realize how impossible the situation is.
Oh, heaven only knows what they'll have to eat. You know how sensitive my stomach is, Miriam.
They're sure to have some vegetables, Anthony.
Probably cooked. You know, mine have got to be raw.
Anthony, please hurry. They're expecting us at 8 o'clock.
Hey, Reba.
Yeah, Mr. Ed?
Reba, take a look out the window and see if there's a man standing in front of the house.
What are you so excited about, Ed?
There's a man been following me, Grandpa, the last few nights when I've been out delivering candy.
Maybe he wants a piece.
Huh?
Well, I don't see anyone, Mr. Ed.
Whee!
Someday, Alice, you're gonna break your neck sliding down that banister.
Someday I'm going to do it without holding. Essie, dear, you're going to give Reba the kitchen all day tomorrow, aren't you? She'll need it.
Yes, that's why I'm making the love dreams now, so I'll be way ahead.
Thank you, darling. And look, Mother, tomorrow night before the Kirbys come, will you have Reba put everything down the cellar? The typewriter, the kittens, and the xylophone?
Certainly, dear. Reba, remind me.
The Kirbys are certainly gonna get the wrong impression of this house tomorrow night.
Yes, well, I'll be upstairs if anybody wants me.
Oh, Mrs. Sycamore!
Yes, Mrs. DePinna?
Look what I found in the cellar. Remember? Over 8 years ago.
Oh, why, of course, Mrs. DePinna. It's my painting of you as a discus thrower. Oh, I always meant to finish it, but I got started on my plays and I never painted again. You know what? I think I'll finish it tonight. Is the costume still down in the cellar, Mrs. DePinna?
Sure. We used the bath towel.
You go get it, Mrs. DePinna, and I'll go upstairs and get my palette and brushes.
Oh boy!
Door, Reba.
I'll answer it, Grandpa. Hello, Mr. Kalinko!
Rabishka! Rabishka, Rabishka! Ah, Grandpa, I am in time for dinner, no?
Yes, sir, Mr. Kolinkov. Right on time.
That is why I like to... what is that thing?
That? It's a picture of Mrs. Stepina. It's a discus thrower. Penny painted it.
It stinks.
Let's see. Yeah. I guess it does.
Mr. Klinkov, I'll get my dancing clothes and be right down.
My Pavlova! You are like a beautiful swan!
Isn't making any progress in her dancing, Mr. Kolinkov?
Well, confidentially, she stinks.
Well, as long as she's having fun.
Hello, Mr. Kolinkov. Oh dear, it seems so nice to get into my art things again.
Ah, Mrs. Sycamore, you are like a breath of Paris.
Oh, thank you. It's the tam o'shanter who does it, don't you think?
Ready, Mrs. Sycamore? Where are you gonna work?
Right here, Mrs. DePinna.
The toga looks pretty good, huh?
Well, all right now. Pose, Mrs. DePinna. Pose.
Already, Mr. Klinkov. My new ballet dress.
Good, Essie, good. And now add music, please. For tonight's lesson, we use the dance of the hours.
Okay.
Now ready? Here we begin. A 1, 2, 3, 4. Pirouette, pirouette.
I'll get it.
3, 4.
Would you pull your stomach in a little, Mrs. DePinna?
1, 2, 3, 4. Little freer with the hands. The music must be freer too. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Mrs. Sycamore! Mrs. Sycamore!
Go away, Reba, not now. Your stomach in just a little bit more, Mrs. DePinna.
Mrs. Sycamore, it's the Kirbys. They're here.
And a 1 and a 2 and a 5 and a 6 and 1, 2, 3.
Oh, Mr. Carmichael.
Penny Sycamore, meet everybody. I'm Penny Sycamore. I'm
Well, good evening, Tony. Good evening. You're Mr. and Mrs. Kirby, aren't you?
How do you do?
Are we too early?
No. Sit right down and make yourself at home. It's perfectly all right.
Why, yes. Only we thought it was tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night. Tony.
Well, that's funny. I thought that
Really, this is most embarrassing.
Not at all. Not at all. We weren't doing a thing.
Of course, we were just having a quiet evening at home.
Now, don't let that bother you. This is Alice's mother, Alice's sister, Mrs. Carmichael, Mr. Carmichael, and Mr. Kolinkov. The discus thrower is Mrs. DePinna. She's the Iceman's second cousin.
How do you do?
I'll call Alice. Alice, dear, Alice!
What is it, Mother?
Alice, would you come down, dear? I have a surprise for you.
Be right there.
Well,
I feel very uncomfortable about this. It's very careless of you, Tony. Very.
Penny, how about some dinner for these folks?
Oh, please, don't bother.
oh, no bother at all. And call up Murphy's and get half a dozen bottles of beer and some canned salmon. Oh, do you like canned salmon, Mr. Kirby?
Please don't trouble. I'm not very hungry.
We're having frankfurters, but I don't think we'll have enough now that you've come. Make it frankfurters, Ed, and see if Reba has enough.
Oh, jeez.
Okay. Hey, Reba.
Whee! I can do it without holding.
Hello, Alice.
Oh dear.
What do you think, Alice? They thought it was tonight.
Oh, but Tony, I thought... Oh, I'm so sorry. You see, I was planning such a nice party tomorrow night.
Well, perhaps we could come tomorrow night.
Oh, no. We'd better see about getting you some dinner.
Oh, that's all done, Alice. I sent out.
What did you send out for?
Mr. Kirby should have told you he suffers from indigestion.
Now, Miriam, it isn't as serious as all that.
Well, perhaps it is not indigestion at all, Mr. Kirby. Perhaps it is stomach ulcers.
Sit down, Mr. Kirby. Tell me, how do you find business conditions?
Well, that depends what side of the fence you're on. I feel that...
Oh, isn't this nice? A real chat. Have you any hobbies, Mr. Kirby?
Business is my hobby, Miss Sycamore.
Tony told me you once raised orchids.
That was a long time ago.
Grandpa plays the harmonica.
Oh, really?
Yes. Ever play one, Mr. Kirby?
Well.
When Mr. Kirby was a boy, the harmonica was associated with street corner loafers.
Oh, were they, Mother?
Of course.
Well then, Dad's been holding out on you. Used to be a champ. He told me so himself.
Here's the grub. They didn't have any more frankfurters, so I got pickled pig's feet.
Never mind, Ed. Just bring everything in the kitchen. I'll fix some scrambled eggs for Mr. Kirby.
Oh, Alice, wait a minute, I'll help.
Well, Tony, that's that, I guess. A fine impression we're making. How could you make such a dreadful mistake? You knew it was tomorrow night.
Sure I did.
Tony, you mean you brought them tonight purposely? Why?
Well, I wanted their approval of you just as you are, not a trumped up evening with everyone acting unnatural.
Oh, but I wanted them to like us. Oh, you've spoiled it. I planned such a nice evening.
Oh, a fine pair to plan things for. They're out there acting like a couple of people on a slumming tour.
Reba, fix some scrambled eggs, please. Come on, we better get back.
Now, the perfect hobby should improve the body as well as the mind. The Romans were great people. Why? What was Roman hobby? Wrestling. In wrestling, you have to think quick with the mind and the body.
That's quite true. When I was young, I was quite good at it, but unfortunately, as the years go on...
Ah, foolish. Once a wrestler, you never forget. I have not wrestled in 6 years and I forget nothing. Look, Mr. Kirby, stand up.
Now, wait a minute.
Mr. Kolonkov, leave Mr. Kirby alone.
Now you hold me so, and I hold you so.
Now listen, I don't want
Now
to
what
wrestle.
do I do?
Put me
I
down.
do this.
Mr. Kolonkov!
Oh!
What you've done to Mr. Kirby? Oh, let me help you up, Mr. Kirby.
My glasses. Where are my glasses?
Oh, here they are, Mr. Kirby. Oh, they're broken.
Well, I'm sorry, but when you wrestle again, Mr. Kirby, you will, of course, not wear glasses.
If you don't mind, perhaps we'd better be going.
Oh, now, Mrs. Kirby, don't be silly. No use rushing off like
I'll
this.
stay here and talk to you, Alice.
I'd rather you didn't. There's nothing to talk about.
Good night.
Well, it's been very nice to have met all of you.
Stay right where you are! Everybody!
Oh my, good heavens!
What's all this? Who are you?
Which one was it, Joe?
This guy here.
Grab him!
Say, what is this? What is this? What do you mean?
See here? We don't belong in this house. We're only visiting here.
Keep your mouth shut. You, what's your name?
My name is Edward Carmichael. Say, I haven't done anything.
Say, what's this all about?
Police department!
Ed, what have you done?
Nothing, Essie. I told you someone was following me.
Shut up! Does this door lead to the cellar?
Yes, it does, but...
Go down there, Joe, and look around.
Okay, Chief.
Now nobody move! Come here, Carmichael. Ever see these papers before?
Huh? Why, sure. They're my circulars.
You print this stuff?
Yes, sir.
And you put them into candy boxes and get them into people's homes?
Oh, but I didn't mean anything, honest.
Oh, you didn't, eh? Well, listen. Watch for the revolution. The red flag will sweep the country.
Radicals. They're radicals.
Oh, but I didn't mean anything.
Shut up!
Hey, Chief.
Yeah? What is it, Joe?
Well, you were right, Chief. They've got enough gunpowder down in that cellar to blow up the whole city.
But we only use that to make fireworks.
Shut up! Everybody in this house is under arrest.
Oh my heavens.
Look here, officer. This is all nonsense.
Excuse me, officer, but I've got to go down in the cellar.
Oh, no, you don't. What's your name?
Mrs. DePinna, but I just remembered I left my cigarettes.
Get back there.
I got to get my cigarettes.
Grab her, Joe.
All right.
Let me go. I got to get down there.
You stay where you are.
What's that?
Fireworks! The fireworks!
Get all out, boys! This whole joint is pinched!
I am an American citizen.
Maybe you Act 2 of You Can't Take It With You ended rather abruptly. We'll see what happens in Act 3. If anyone can get out of a fix like that,
Our money's on Grandpa. Perhaps his secret is friendliness. And here's another lady who seems to know that secret.
After a brief intermission, we will go on with Act 3 of You Can't Take It With You. A few weeks ago, I mentioned on this program a conversation I'd had with Joan Bennett. A few days later, I got a letter that made me think that perhaps I'm not always as grateful as I should be. The letter says, well, here, Sally, you read it.
Dear Miss Cabal, so you know Joan Bennett. You big lucky. I wish I knew her. Why don't you tell us some more about the stars you know personally? Shall I read the way it's signed?
Why, certainly, why not? Go ahead.
Well, it's signed an admirer.
Oh, that. She doesn't mean me, Sally. She means she admires Joan Bennett. And by George, so do I. What a complexion she has.
Yes, she has lovely skin.
Indeed she has. And she uses Art's Cool Acting Body Wash. She's a real fan for it. Says it does a swell job for her. And besides, she likes to use it because it has such a nice perfume. You can bet a girl like Joan wouldn't use Art's Cool Acting Body Wash unless it did work, because she's really a practical little thing. Sort of businesslike about everything. Expects results.
9 out of 10 stars use Art Cool Acting Body Wash. That means they get results, doesn't it, Miss Cabal?
It certainly does, Sally. Art's Cool Acting Body Wash has active lather that does a thorough job. Makes you sure of a perfect cleansing. And that means it's the soap for every woman who wants her skin to have the best of care. Smooth, soft skin is a joy for everyone who looks at it. And everyone does look at it and admire it. So, let Art's Cool Acting Body Wash help you win the love and admiration you ought to have.
We continue with the third act of You Can't Take It With You. The long arm of the law has reached into the Vanderhoff household and scooped up the entire family, and with them, the aristocratic Kirbys. In the police station, the men have been herded into a single barred room, reserved especially for the drunk and disorderly.
Well, Tony, I hope you're satisfied, and I hope it only teaches you a lesson. Go fooling around with stenographers.
I'm sorry, Dad, but I intend on marrying Alice.
Yes, I know. I intended on marrying a waitress once, but fortunately my father knocked it out of me.
Mr. Kirby, you'd be a lot better off if you'd relax a little.
Oh, relax. With my son being snatched from under my nose, with me being arrested like a common criminal, this may jeopardize the biggest deal of my career.
Stop worrying, Mr. Kirby. What if all your deals fall through? Might be a lucky break for you.
Are you crazy?
Maybe I am. I was just like you once, but I quit because I wasn't having any fun. That was 35 years ago.
Yeah, and you haven't done a thing since.
Oh, yes. I went to the zoo and I got the notion, took up the harmonica again, made a lot of friends, and even found time to notice when spring came around.
Yes, a fine country we'd have if we all spent our time at the zoo and playing the harmonica. It's a lot of nonsense.
Too bad you can't find time for a lot of nonsense like that. Maybe you'd stop being so desperate about making more money than you can use. You can't take it with you, Mr. Kirby. So, what good is it? From what I can see, there's only one thing you can take with you, and that's the love of your friends.
Oh? Why don't you go out and get a pulpit for yourself?
Well, I'm sorry.
Hey, which one of you is Vanderhoff?
Right here, sir.
Hello, Mr. Vanderhoff. Remember me?
Oh, sure. Mr. Bakley, isn't it?
Yes. I heard you were in trouble, and I came over to help you out.
I see. Well, you're wasting your time, Mr. Bakley. I don't intend selling my home.
What?
No, sir. Now go along, young fellow. Run along and let me alone.
Well, we'll see how long you can hold out. Just wait till a few more bad things happen to you.
Oh, so it was you who arranged this arrest.
Yes. And it's only a starter.
Blakely, did you do this?
Mr. Kirby?
Why, you idiot! Do you know what you've done?
Mr. Kirby, I never dreamed that you knew these people.
Get out of here, you blumbering idiot! And if you have 1 ounce of brains, see if you can dig up my attorneys.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll phone them all. Yes, sir.
So you're the one that's been holding up my deal.
Kind of funny, isn't it?
What's so funny about it? You won't think it's so funny when I take your house away from you.
Listen to him.
I'll show you how business is done the Kirby way.
You are not a businessman. You are a lion in jungle.
That's how I got where I am. That's why I'm on top. And scum like you are in the gutter.
Oh, Dad, stop it.
Who are you calling scum?
You're an idiot, Mr. Kirby. A stupid idiot.
You can't talk like that.
Oh, yes, I can. Scum, are we? What makes you think you're such a superior human being? Your money? With all your wealth, you're the poorest man I know. Poorer than any of these people you call scum, because I'll guarantee they've got some friends. You may be a high mogul to yourself, Mr. Kirby, but to me, you're a failure. A failure as a man. A failure as a human being. Yes, even a failure as a father. I'm sorry, Mr. Kirby. I haven't lost my temper like that in some 30-some-odd years. If I could make it up to you in any way, how would you like to have my harmonica? It's a new one. Here, you might want to play it sometime.
All right, everybody, night court's open. Have your paperwork ready. Come on, move along. Silence. Mr. Vanderhoff, for disturbing the peace, you and the rest of your family are, by your own plea, guilty, but I shall suspend sentence.
Thank you, sir.
But for manufacturing explosives without a license, I am sorry, but I am forced to fine you $100.
$100? That's a lot of money.
We gotta help Grandpa. He's our neighbor.
Order. Silence, please.
Oh, Grandpa, don't worry.
Why, Maggie?
Your Honor, we're Grandpa's neighbors. We'll take care of that fine for him. We'll take up a collection.
Very well, but quietly, please.
Thanks, Judge. Okay, folks, let's pony up.
You are a lucky man, Mr. Vanderhoff, to have so many friends.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, gentlemen, I'd like to dismiss the charge of disturbing peace against the Kirbys, but if these people were guilty, then I must assume the Kirbys were guilty too. Unless, of course, they can explain what they were doing there.
I don't see that that's important. Haven't we been embarrassed enough?
Your Honor, if I may say something.
Yes, of course, Mr. Vanderhoff.
These people just dropped in to see me about buying my house.
Why, of course. That's all we were there for.
That's not true.
Now, Alice.
Now let me alone. I won't stand for it. I won't stand for our being humiliated like this. Your Honor, they're ashamed to admit that they came to look my family over, to see if I was good enough to marry their precious son.
Why, I never heard of anything.
But she's right, Mother. That's just why we were there.
It's time you spoke up, Tony Kirby. Why, it's your family that isn't good enough. I wouldn't be related to a bunch of snobs like that for anything in the world. How do you like that?
Alice, come here.
Penny? Essie? Paul? Come here!
What? What's the matter, Grandpa?
Look, it's a letter from Alice. Here, read it.
Now, wait a minute. My hands are shaking. She's staying with Helen, her school friend in Riverside. That's in Connecticut.
Read what she says, Ma.
Oh, well, let me see now. I know the situation between me and Tony is impossible. I should have stayed in my own backyard, but, oh, my darlings, I'm so lonesome for you. Last night I cried myself to sleep. I wish I could rush back home, but how can I if I want to forget?
Sounds to me like she's not coming back.
Well, I guess that settles it.
Who are you calling, Grandpa?
I'm calling that fellow Bakley.
Blakely? You're not going to sell the house.
Alice is right. She can't come back here. She'd be miserable. Mr. Bakley, please? We'll all find a place where she is and... Hello? Mr. Bakley? This is Mr. Vanderhoff. Still want to buy the house? All right, draw the papers. That's all right. Quite a crook, that fellow.
But Mr. Vanderhoff, why won't you tell me where she is?
Because there's an unwritten law in our family against snitching. And Alice doesn't want to see her, Tony.
Grandpa, is the moving man down there?
He just took out the xylophone. Pretty busy today here, son. Moving and all.
Now, Mr. Vanderhoff, if you see Alice, will you tell her that I've quit the banking business and...
Grandpa, I just saw Miss Alice coming up the walk.
Miss Alice?
Miss Alice is home.
Heavenly day, but we were going to her.
Mother, Grandpa, I'm back.
Oh, Alice, darling.
Grandpa, what are you doing? I came as soon as I got your telegram, but oh, I'm too late. You've already sold the house.
Of course I sold the house. I was getting tired of it.
But now everybody on the block has to move. And what about Grandma? You're moving away from her.
Alice.
Well, Mr. Kirby, you wanted the house and you got it. Well, now get out.
But, Alice, please,
Don't talk to me. Oh, Grandpa.
It's all right, Alice. It's all right. Now, don't cry, honey.
The desk was right here, wasn't it? Set it down, Harry.
Say, what is this? What are you bringing that furniture back in here for?
Orders, Grandpa.
What in the world?
May I come in?
Dad!
Why, it's Mr. Kirby.
Mr. Kirby?
Do you mind if I sit down?
Of course not. We're a little short on chairs.
Well, you won't be. Told the men to bring your furniture back.
You did? Why?
Mr. Vanderhoff, you told me I was a failure as a man and as a father. I guess maybe you were right. My son walked out on me today, but I'm not giving up. I want my son back. I want to be a success as a father, so the first thing I've got to do is to be a success as a man. My big deal isn't going through, and strangely enough, I don't care.
Mr. Kirby, you know what I do when I'm facing a crisis of some kind?
No.
I just take out my harmonica and play until the crisis fades away. I think right now if you and me could get together on a duet. You bought the harmonica I gave you, didn't you?
Well, I...
Fine. How about Polly Wally Doodle?
Polly Wally Doodle.
I'll start it and you join in.
All right.
Oh, that's beautiful. Paul, isn't it lovely?
Oh, it is Lion, Jungle Lion, and harmonica.
Ah, my Russian wrestling friend.
What are you doing here?
Ha! I'll show you. I hold you so. You hold me so.
Duh.
What am I doing? I'm doing this.
Oh, magnificent.
Thank you. Come on, Mr. Vanderhoff.
And how about the xylophone?
Alice, I guess everything's all right now, huh?
Oh, Tony.
Gee, I feel like screaming, yeah!
You got what you want, Tony.
Oh, Alice. Oh, gosh.
Quiet, everybody. Grandpa is going to say grace.
So, here we are again. We had a little trouble, but that's not your fault. You spread the milk of human kindness, and if some of it gets curdled, that's our lookout. Things have turned out fine. Alice is gonna marry Tony. The Kirbys are coming to live with us for a while, and everybody on the block is happy. We've all got our health, and as far as anything else is concerned, we leave it up to you. Thank you.
See, I told you, Paul, everything worked out great.
Life and Love of Dr. Susan, starring Petra Uribe. This human and gripping story of a young, attractive woman doctor is brought to you every afternoon, Monday through Friday. For the time and station, see your newspaper. The Life and Love of Dr. Susan, starring Petra Uribe, comes to you in addition to the OCSA Radio Theater.
Our sponsors, the makers of Arts Cool Acting Body Wash, join me in inviting you to be with us again next Monday night when the OCSA Theater presents Stephanie Dorian and John Walcott in The Sisters. This is Noah Granados saying good night to you from Hollywood.